If it's a Sunday, the first Sunday of the month, and it's 6 o'clock, it is time for First Sunday. Hello, everyone. My name is Rhonda Beard, and I'm excited because this is the first time in a long time that I get a chance to host First Sunday. So I'm particularly excited to share with you today, and I want to welcome each and every one of you who took time from what is, at least in Silver Spring, Maryland, a beautiful Sunday afternoon to join us for another edition of our First Sunday sessions. For those who were here last month, you know that we are in a 3-month series talking about our accomplishments, reminding ourselves of why noting our accomplishments is important for brain health. Last month, we looked at our past. We honored the past, discussing the meaningful experiences that strengthen our memory and identity and the importance for us to remember. This month, we're looking to the present, living in the present. But before we start, here's the first question. What anchors our discussions is our brain boost habits. If you're new, those habits are simply 3 science-based habits that we know strengthen memory, focus, and recall. Reading aloud, doing simple math quickly, and writing by hand. So here's the first question for you. Check-in time. In the last month, how many of you have practiced at least one of those 3 exercises weekly? I see a few hands. I see a few hands. I'm excited. I'm seeing quite a few hands. Yay. You know why that was a trick question? Because in the last month, there have been 2 classes of newly minted brain health ambassadors. Here in Silver Spring, Maryland, Mid-County graduated its first class. And then just last Sunday in Tobago, the very first group of brain health ambassadors. So congratulations to them all. Congratulations, congratulations. We welcome them and are looking forward to what they will do in this community. So we know at least some of you practiced last month, but what about practicing all 3? Did anybody practice all 3 exercises at least 4 to 5 times a month? And if you have, come off mute and talk to us because I fail that. I can't answer that question affirmatively. So come off mute and share with us what your practice was like and any differences that you may have noticed.
I'll speak. Can you hear me?
Pearl, we could hear you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. Well, I tell you what, it's easy for me because when I commit to something, I go all out. Unless I just can't, you know, or either I don't commit at all, because I don't do anything halfway. It's not in my nature, probably because of my background, so on. So yeah, so the routine, I got very used to it very quickly, and if I would miss a day, I would feel guilty or feel like I missed something. Like, like when you don't go to aqua joggers and you
Yes.
start to feel like I missed out. So that's what I did, and I would make time to do it. So yeah, I feel pretty good with myself. I kind of like this week already for the month of May, I've done at least three and a half of the routines. So the routines to me takes 30 minutes per day, right? 10, 10, 10. So it's easy once you commit.
Listen, I love that because it's true. It is a commitment. So you have to find the time in your schedule and just make it a part of your routine. Thank you so much for sharing, Pearl.
Yes.
Anybody? I see Ketley's hand. Ketley, you want to share with us?
Yes. Uh, I practice all 3 of them. I usually I would just read silently. That was my habit. But since learning about this thing, I've made a conscious effort. I'm very intentional about it. Like when I'm doing my Sabbath school lesson, it just comes out like that. I start reading aloud. So even like at work, when I read aloud, instead of, for example, instead of putting, what do you call this thing? Immersive reading. for
Mhm.
the students. I'll read it aloud for them. So that is reading aloud for me. And instead of using my calculator when I am doing, all my expenses and things like that, I do not use the calculator. I just do it the way I used to do it when I was younger. Because when I was in school, we could not use calculators. I
Right.
even did accounting without a calculator.
Yeah.
So just trying to go back because I was getting spoiled with the calculator. And the other one is writing. Writing is easy for me because when I was in school, that was one thing that we had to do. We had to take notes as the teacher was speaking. Sometimes some of the books, some of the things that he's saying, we don't have it. And I had great teachers. I'd like to take notes. I not only do I take notes, I use cursive. I'm still using cursive handwriting. And I think that helps me a lot. I can see that it's easier for me to remember things. Like I will forget where I put things. I used to forget what I was doing. And now I can see that I am making some progress. It's easier for me to remember things. So
Oh,
it
that is
really
an
works.
awesome.
It really works.
That's an awesome testimony, Ketley and Pearl, helping to motivate the rest of us to get into the routine 4 to 5 times a week, spend 30 minutes a day reading aloud, doing simple math quickly,
Mhm.
and writing by hand. So, we're going to practice that today. But before we get to the practice, we're going to spend a few minutes talking about why it's important to the brain for us to be very present today. The brain strengthens when we use it, especially when we use it regularly. You just heard Kathleen testify to that. That was the essence of her testimony, feeling and seeing improvements because of her regular practice and engagement with the exercises. So, what we do today impacts the brain, not just today, but into the future. It shapes how the brain will work tomorrow, which means because today is what we can affect, we have a particular urgency to be meaningful and aware of how we exercise and stay mentally active in real time. So it's not about doing more, it's about using your mind in everyday moments, being more intentional about staying engaged. We're going to share a short video that you're going to listen to Dr. Blake Wood share how engagement keeps the brain active in daily life.
Engagement keeps the brain active. Hey there, this is Dr. Charmaine Wood. Welcome back to Brain Health 101 by Resilient Health Communities. Today, let's talk about how keeping your brain engaged helps to keep it healthy. Our brain works best when it remains involved in meaningful activity. When we interact with others, solve problems, share ideas, or help someone, several brain systems activate at once. These brain systems include attention networks, executive function systems that support decision making, and emotional processing regions. When these systems work together, the brain strengthens communication between different areas. Research in cognitive aging consistently shows that people who remain socially and mentally engaged often maintain stronger cognitive function over time. Engagement allows the brain to continue practicing important skills such as attention, communication, decision making, and flexibility in thinking. Even everyday activities can stimulate these networks. So, helping family members, volunteering, mentoring younger people, or participating in community groups such as resilient health communities can all keep the brain active. Engagement is not about staying busy, it's about staying connected and staying involved. When people feel their presence matters, the brain responds with greater motivation and alertness. That sense of contribution supports emotional well-being and cognitive vitality. The brain remains strongest when it stays connected to people, ideas, and purpose. Thanks for joining us for another installation of Resilient Health Community's Brain Health 101. We'll see you next time. Until then, remember to keep your brain engaged. Take care.
So the takeaway from Dr. Wood's video is that your brain must be used in order for you to keep it as healthy as possible. And that use is not any single way. It is thinking, engaging, solving, and connecting in everyday life. So you can achieve that in so many ways, but we're about to spend the next 40 minutes or so using three particular ways in which we can engage the brain. We're going to have Brain Boost Boot Camp. Yes, we are. We're going to practice the three habits, and I'm so excited to introduce the co-presenters for today. Leading us in reading aloud, you've heard from her already, is Pearl Sahabdeen. Pearl is a very recent graduate in Tobago from the pilot program. And the next is another recent graduate in Tobago. Dr. Richard will lead us in simple math, done quickly. And in our last exercise is a voice you've heard from several times, a very active member of the community, Merlene Andre. Merlene has led her own group at Lightbearers Mission online. She has done a series of Brain Boost boot camps. She has done the Brain Health series. And after that, she wanted to do more. So she volunteered and recently stepped up to become a director of programs. So without any further ado, here are your co-presenters, beginning with Pearl.
Hi, good afternoon. Can everybody hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
great, great. I wasn't sure. Okay, great to be here. Great to see you guys. Again, the ones that I can see. Um, so the part of my program is called Reading Aloud, and this is our first Brain Boost habit. Okay, it's reading aloud. I can't tell you what that has done for me because I have never done that unless I was reading to my children. But now that they're grown, I'm not doing that anymore. But reading aloud has actually connected me with feelings, and just the sound of my voice has been a revelation to me, you know because it actually, a voice actually carries with your, well, we call it vibes. So if you're feeling good, you're reading. If you're reading and the book is making you feel emotional, you would do that too. That happened to me anyway when I was reading aloud. So reading aloud strengthens sustained attention. I'm sure you guys who have done it has encountered that too. One of the brain's most important cognitive skills. Okay, so sustained attention is one of the brain's most important cognitive skills. If I read aloud, I'd probably have less problems saying that word. Um, that's the other thing. You get your voice to actually pronounce words when you are reading aloud, and that's by itself generates some kind of thinking pattern in your brain. I'm sure. Many daily activities divide our attention, such as the notifications that come on your phone when you start to scroll and you see that funny video or something that interests you. You just don't want to stop, right? And of course, we all know this one, multitasking, trying to do the laundry while we're, cooking, or, doing, putting on the coffee pot, running to take a shower, those kind of things. That's the multitasking. So reading aloud does the opposite. It asks your brain to follow language continuously. Okay. It also coordinates your breathing and your speech. Hmm. And then it monitors rhythm and expression. Now, I'm sure there are medical terminologies for all of this. I'm sure of it. But, we can all understand what that does. This sustained focus helps the brain to train and, train your own brain and give attention networks. Let me say that again. This sustained focus helps train the brain's attention networks. Now, that is what is used to support memory and comprehension. Okay, long pause on that one. So we're going to do some practice, right? And this is just going to be, it's going to further give you an idea of what reading aloud does to the person reading. And if you are reading to someone else, this has a really good value too, by the way. Okay, so you're going to see short patches, a short passage on the screen. We'd like you to read it clearly and confidently. And then read with your natural expression. Okay? Let the words come alive. Who would like to begin?
I will. I'm
Hi,
Ellen.
hi, Ellen.
Hi. I'm gonna turn my. Let me do this. Hi. Okay.
Hi.
Hello. I will read. It says today counts. Not later today. The way you respond counts. The way you engage when it would be easier to withdraw counts. The way you use what life has already taught you counts. This day is not a rehearsal, it is a turning point. You may not recognize until later, and what you choose now becomes part of what tomorrow has to work with.
Hmm. Anyone would like to offer anything that generated passion or some emotion in that passage or anything? Okay, then we'll skip to reading number two. Who's
Well,
gonna do that?
I was just going to comment really quickly
Okay,
and say that, it's a saying that says, today is today, it will never be the same tomorrow, and this day will never come again. So that kind of reminds me of that.
awesome, exactly, and it's a good lesson for all of us, not only those of us who are trying to avoid things like Alzheimer's and dementia, and that's what the program is supposed to teach us. Okay, so we'll skip to reading number two now. Thank you for your comment, and thank you, Alan, for that wonderful reading.
You are welcome.
Would anyone like to read? Skip to
Okay,
passage.
I'll read it.
Okay.
Use what you know. You did not learn all that for it to sit unused. That is not the past. That is equipment. Use it today in a decision, in a conversation, when it will be easier to step back. The future forms from what you do with what you know.
Absolutely. This is something that I probably get trouble with. A decision, use it today. Would it be easier to step back? Things like that. We feel like it shouldn't be something that that is bad for us. That is equipment. So just use it today in a decision, in a conversation. When would it be easier to step back? You know, um, Thank you so much for reading that. Ketley, I'm
Ketley.
sorry.
Ketley.
Ketley. And how
Yes.
do you say your last name?
Desjardins. See, if you have to say it in
Desjardins.
French,
I love it.
Desjardins.
I love it. Thank you so much. And
You're
would you
welcome.
like to add a comment? Anyone on
Okay.
Use
that
it,
slide?
Go back.
use it,
We
or you
should
will
go back.
lose it.
Yes. And
Yes,
when you share it, you will remember. I notice like when I
absolutely.
go to church and I sit down and I listen to the sermon and I'm all into the sermon, it is so good. But I can tell you that many times I forget what it was all about. But if I go and I take notes and I share it with somebody and I tell them what I heard, what I learned, it makes it easier for me to remember and to apply it later. So the best way for you to remember what you learn for it to become an equipment for you is to share.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll go on to number 3. Who would like to read that one? Any volunteers? Any
I'll
hands
go.
going up?
I'll go. I am sitting in my car, but I'll go. I am not
Sandra.
finished. There is still room to encourage someone, teach something I know, share a story, start a habit, repair a misunderstanding, learn one new thing. My accomplishments are not only behind me, they are foundations, and foundations are built for what comes next.
Right. Now, I know there are a lot of people who can identify with that. Would anybody like to share anything? Okay,
Uh, uh, I don't. I keep talking, but I gotta say something. When, when
that's
you
okay, but Ellen.
when you are on the land of the living and you have that opportunity, don't let it go. Or you have your sound mind, don't let it go, because you never know what tomorrow may bring. So take every opportunity that you have to share your knowledge. Sometimes people keep their knowledge because it makes them feel powerful, but I
Mhm.
feel power comes in sharing, because think about all the different people that will pass it on to another person, and then you have done well. So yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your reading. Thanks, Ellen, for your comments. If anybody else would like a comment, I'll give you like a second, two, two. Okay. All right. So there's a reflection about what we just read, and reading aloud, I believe, gives you that ability to, sit back and think. And I think a lot of people do. Well, I do when I've read. Um, I'm gonna ask you: did reading aloud require you to concentrate differently than silent reading? It's just a reflection. And then, did hearing the words out loud change how you experience them? Okay, so again, we're still continuing our practices, 10 minutes per day, 4 times a week. And with reading, that's what it is, just 10 minutes of reading aloud. Like I said, it becomes a habit. But once you commit to it, habits are easy. Okay. So choose material that holds meaning for you, like poems and scriptures and speeches or stories. Well, I read a lot of memoirs. And I'm reading one right now, and I read a lot. That's. Um, okay. So last but not least, Meaningful language strengthens both attention and emotional engagement. And now we move from language to logic with our next person. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Our second brain boost habit is simple math done quickly. This practice strengthens working memory. That is the brain's ability to hold and manipulate information briefly. Working memory allows us to follow conversations, to keep track of tasks, to make decisions, and to solve problems. Quick maths exercises these systems by requiring the brain to remember numbers, perform calculations, and update information rapidly. And this keeps the brain prefrontal network active and flexible. So we're going to practice some maths done quickly, simple maths done quickly. Allow me to just share my screen.
That was a long 3 minutes.
Okay, 1 minute
Yeah.
left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up.
But yeah, finished.
Well done.
Yes.
Now, as you can see, this actually makes you, as a matter of fact, just notice how your mind feels now. You see, many people experience a sense of mental alertness after this activity. And that alertness reflects the activation of executive system in the brain. So at home, practice simple math 10 minutes per day, 4 to 5 times each week. Short, consistent practice helps maintain mental agility. And now we shift from logic and speed to reflection. Thank you.
Okay. I I love the math. I love the easy math and what it does for us as well. So yes, now we are going to the third habit of writing by hand. And writing by hand strengthens reflective thinking, and that is the ability to connect ideas, experiences, and emotions. So when we write by hand, the brain must organize thoughts, coordinate movement, and translate ideas into language. This slower process encourages deeper thinking. Writing about meaningful experiences also activates the brain's social cognition networks. That helps us understand our role in the lives of others. So today we will be using Power of 10 by Resilient Health Communities. Writing 10 responses encourages the brain to search deeper through experience. The first answers come easily, but as the list continues, the brain must work harder to retrieve additional ideas. That gentle challenge strengthens memory retrieval. So we are going to practice the writing as we did the math and the reading. Today's prompt is 10 ways you contribute to others or to your community today, like nowadays. And I'll repeat that as I even share it on the screen for us. Make sure. So again, we're going to be writing about 10 ways you can contribute to others or to your community today. So your contributions might include supporting family members, mentoring others, helping neighbors, volunteering, sharing wisdom, offering encouragement. Small actions often have the greatest impact. So you will have 5 minutes to write on the topic of 10 ways you contribute to others or to your community today or these days, starting now. 5 minutes. And that was 5 minutes. So we're going to take some time to share together. Would anyone like to share one or two items from your list? You can raise your hand or just unmute and share. One or two? Any at all? Or should I put one out there?
I
Well,
will
Okay, I'm gonna
share.
say something.
Oh,
go ahead.
just because. So I am really happy that I joined the Aqua Joggers group because it's done so much for me. That I would like to start an evening group because the first thing people say when I invite them is, "It's too early in the morning." But it is the perfect way to start your day when you are out there and you watch the sun comes up. And so I feel like I would really like to do that, to offer people an opportunity to come out in the evenings, and do what we do, just to be in the water and taking the vibe again with that word, and just grow from it. So that's what I would like to do.
Okay,
Okay.
excellent.
All right.
I,
Is that Zoom?
I'd like to say something. I'm Caroline, and I contribute to my community by helping my sick friends. Sometimes I take them to the doctor, or I visit with them at their home. I prepare a meal for them at times, either at my home or their home, and then I spend time talking to them on the phone. Or another point is donating to worthy causes like the Jamaica mission trip. And another project I'm doing is I'm planting flowers to sell to support my birthday club. We have a birthday club at our church, and my month is October. And so we're trying to get the most points. And then another way I contribute to the community is in my part time, I make little caps, like nurses' caps, to share with my coworkers. And another wonderful thing I do, I spend time outside cutting the fence and mowing the lawn, and then the neighbors would send their younger wives outside to do something similar to what I'm doing. So that's the way I contribute to my community.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for sharing those. Do we have one more person to contribute to this discussion? Sharing something that you do to contribute to your community.
Firstly, I'd like to say thank you, Pearl, for telling me about this program. She invited me a couple days ago, and I said, okay, I wasn't sure what I was getting into, but I thought, okay, I'll come and listen. So I've been listening, and my contribution, which is something I is very dear to my heart, is I have what I call my department store. I have a huge shed in my yard, and I collect clothes, shoes, you name it, from anybody who has anything to give away.
Mm.
And I have so many, my friends, family, they all know this is what I do. So I get lots of stuff and I divide it up, I share it. I have the trucks come to my yard to collect. It's either the vets, the Vietnamese vets, I give to the rescue mission, to the homeless. During the winter months, I'll drive downtown and look for people who are not wearing coats and give them coats. I mean, people give me new coats to distribute and so. And that is very dear to my heart and my contribution to my community. That's it.
That that is wonderful. It's simple. You have the resources and you make the
Correct.
most out of it to help others. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that and everyone else that has shared. And I want to thank you all for writing and sharing so thoughtfully. So at home, aim to write by hand about 10 minutes, 4 to 5 days of the week. Journaling, list making, reflection prompts. Oh, and by the way, you can get tons of prompts at the
YouTube channel for Resilient Health Communities. You'll get plenty of prompts, including the math that we did. You'll find those playlists there. So you can do that. You can write letters. All of these things count. So what matters most is the regular connection between thinking and movement. And now we go back to our host to close today's meeting.
Thank you, Merlene, and thank you to each of our co-presenters for a job well done. Yay! Celebrating the conclusion of another session. Before we close, here is something for us to think about and to reflect on. We always have homework, and our homework is usually the Brain Boost Habits. But each month, as we have a focus topic, we leave with a question for you to ponder. And so here's, in addition to your Brain Boost Habits, over the next month, at the end of each day, ask yourself, how did I stay mentally active today? How did I stay mentally active today? Because we've heard the science. We listened to Dr. Wood's video. We practice the brain boost habits, and we know that we activated attention networks, executive control networks, reflection and social understanding networks, and you experience something important, and that is that the brain strengthens when we use it. Staying mentally active each day intentionally requires effort. So every time you read and follow language, work through a problem, reflect and write, engage with others, you're strengthening the brain systems you rely on each day. So be intentional over the next month. And one simple way you can do that is to ask yourself, how did I stay mentally active today? Next month, we'll complete the series with Shaping the Future. We'll explore how purpose gives direction to how we use the brain. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for engaging. Looking forward to everyone being here next month. That would normally have been said by Dr. Murray or Dr. Wood. But today, I get to now revert to my normal role of ending us with announcements. Stay tuned. Buckle up because they're really a lot. This month has been very active already. It's just started and it's going to be even more so. So here are the things you need to know. We are in the US, we're in the Caribbean, and so while it may seem like it's a lot, here's one of the things we do, especially to the newly minted brain health ambassadors. Sharing resources, programs that are local for you is one way that you can exercise your ambassadorship, but also reaching out to your network in the places that you'll see. We are in Maryland and Tobago right now. We're going to Jamaica in less than 2 months. So just note, not just for yourself, but for persons you may know in each of these locations. Tobago, we have to start with the fact that the second class begins on June 2nd. But the day before, we're going to have Brain Health Empowerment Day. We're going to be there as a special day of inspiration and education for the community at large. And we're doing that again because that second class is going to be very limited, no more than 30 persons. We may push to 35. But it's going to be a short, small, focused class intended to create ambassadors who will reach into the far areas on the island. We did not get far east, and we want to encourage them to come and join us. So note those dates. Charter House in downtown Silver Spring continues. They have two last classes in May, or class in Mid-County continues. They will have classes through the first week of June. And here are two exciting opportunities. If you're anywhere close to Silver Spring, Wednesday, we're at a senior space, Homecrest House. And the following Tuesday, we'll be at East County. Brain Boost Boot Camp and food. African American Health Programs has asked us again to help them with their upcoming presentation, the annual Alzheimer's Awareness Day. We're going to do boot camp with them. Next June, first Sunday, you heard it already, Shaping the Future is the topic, or final in the three-part series. And then we end June with a brain health workshop at Good Hope Union right here in Silver Spring. And this I'm looking forward to. Jamaica, late July into August. And to save the date, we're starting to calendar activity in the fall, starting with East County. But for all of those activities to come together and to find sufficient volunteers and to help the newly minted Brain Health Ambassador to give you the materials you need, the additional training to answer questions, we are creating the Catalyst Incubator. Starting on Wednesday, we haven't decided if it's 4 or 5. We'll send that information out early this week. We're going to get online with focus on specifically the persons who want to start groups in their community or want to learn how they can or want to practice some more before they do so. That's the purpose of the incubator. So get ready. We're going to start on Wednesday. For anybody who is new and want to learn how to connect, particularly to our YouTube channel, get your phone and grab the QR code. That is how you can connect. We are Resilient Health Communities on YouTube and Facebook. We publish for the series, we have a prompt every day published in the morning on both Facebook and our WhatsApp group. Keep forgetting to put the WhatsApp group on here, but you can find us on WhatsApp too. Stay connected with us. Continue to share the information. We show up because we know what the science and projections are. That the rates of Alzheimer's here in the US are predicted to double by 2050. In the Caribbean, they're going to more than double in that time. And if we wait, what we'll have and face is a health system that will be even more strained than it already is. The increased cost, not just financially for families, but also the emotional toll. And so we preach prevention. We preach doing everything we can to delay or prevent cognitive decline. That's our purpose. A very simple mission that we invite everybody to join us on. Are there any questions about any of the information that I shared? Hearing no questions, I return the rest of your Sunday to you. Invite you back online next on June 7th for June's first Sunday, but that you find one of those activities and get active, get involved. We'll be back in Tobago. Looking forward to it. I'm back mid-May. And one of the things we want to do then is to help Brain Health Ambassadors actually conduct their first sessions in their communities. So looking forward to it. Everybody have an amazing May. And let's keep the work going. I see that, Anne. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.